Solstice and Big Oof Energy. Waltham, what do we got here?
So currently we're looking at another matched up game in terms of SR. Both are running about a 3K SR rating right now, which is pretty good. It's pretty average. I think that on Wednesday we saw another similar game between two teams that were also very close in SR. So I'm looking to see a little bit of competitiveness like we saw back in that game. But, at home, for those of you who just kind of want to dive right into what we're going to be seeing here, I believe our first map is going to be King's Row. Is that right, Reese?
I believe that is correct. And the other thing I'd like to mention is that holy moly is the Atlanta Rain player icon really pretty. Wow. And again, we have almost that icon synergy. Great show to see. We have, again, a little bit of that Guangzhou, which is nice. But yes, we are starting on King's Row. Winter Solstice will be defending. Big Oof Energy will be attacking at the start. We've been over this before. King's Row is probably one of my favorite maps of all time.
Truly, truly great day for some tank play if you're going to be on King's Row. I can't disagree with it. Although, if I'm just looking at these teams right now, I'm going to have to pick out Italis as one of the weak links, considering they don't have that synergy going right now.
It is a bit of a problem. We'll see if they actually are the ones who end up carrying the team versus otherwise.
It's very true. There's a lot of potential there in being the standout. But in either way, it seems like we are going to get started here in just a few moments. I'm really excited to see these teams.
Yeah, again, seeing that nice, low diamond, high plat play can be refreshing at times when you come from the world of the Masters and the Grandmasters, and sometimes you get to see some really great strategies. Other times you get to see goats v goats, and it gets old, it really does. And, sometimes there's only so many times you can say, wow, that was a great goat. There's a word for it, but I'm gonna go with ennui. And right, I really like seeing some of the crazy stuff that comes out, and I really would love to see some really crazy stuff on King's Row.
Well, if these are going to be anything like my plat games, we could be seeing any sort of compositions coming out here in all sorts of directions. I've seen attack bastions in my comp games. I've seen Sim, Roadhog, Reinhardt compositions. I've seen everything in the plat games. So, if it's going to be anything like that, I'm sure it's a wild card.
Yeah, and I love me some of that old classic double snipers. The one thing I don't see a lot of is dive. It can be a little tricky to make a good dive work on King's Row, given how well defenders can get set up on that high ground.
It's very true. It's given the amount of time it takes to get set up on that high ground, it really does kind of put dive a little bit at a disadvantage, which is why we see the teams being a little bit more comfortable running those ground pound compositions.
Now entering.
And now, however, we are going to get started with King's Row. And once again, we have on the right, we have that.
Initiating match.
Winter Solstice on the blue. I believe the stream shows that off nice and pretty.
Should be. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the few standard maps that takes place at night. It's I think a little bit past my bedtime, judging by the lighting on the map.
I am going to do my very best to yawn. This has that effect. Also, I do want to state that it is a full moon in London. You can actually see the moon base from the map if your graphics are turned up high enough, which I always think is kind of cool. Also gives you that werewolves in London kind of vibe.
Definitely does, and we're going to start seeing the teams get their comps assembled here. What do you like out of these comps so far?
So I had a nice encounter with
Lightsaber!
And you mentioned that
Let me get
probably
you
this again every time I see it now in this
Greetings! Lightsaber! Hello there! Greetings!
Then we have Widow Farah is a classic DPS.
You are advised to move behind the barrier.
Yeah, however, I think that Viagra Panda is going to have to do a lot of double focus to really handle both the counter sniping and the air counterplay.
So speaking of that time, we were just talking about, looks like Big Defender might possibly
One.
and they've gone to the right side.
That is some classic caster debate.
Ooh, and Kaboshi picks up just Mama.
You should be at peak performance.
Contest for a little bit, getting a take, and then shooting right back right. While the Faro
position.
Very good overall. A strong dominance by DPS, and the tanks we did see on the attacking team had the right idea, get on the point quickly so they have to drop down. It just didn't quite work out for them.
Having that Hanzo to not press on the high ground is probably what helps with that.
You're covered.
The objective is mine!
This is not your time.
Support request. Healing it up.
Very true, and it looks like that's going to be the initiation that they really needed.
The
If they
battle
act quick enough,
continues.
they can catch the Orisa in the rotation, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to.
Looks like Diva just got her neck back after that resurrection, and now Widowmaker's once again dropped.
Justice reigns from above.
Both right now.
The widows.
But now it's a trade back and forth. Big Move Energy has a definitive man advantage. 4v2, 4v3 now, with the Lucio coming back on the point.
Now, where were we?
And we are going to see the bongo drum get taken out relatively easily as a Lucio or a Boostio comes out. Some classic Boostio.
And they're going to be stalling as much as they can. Vapori's going to do their best, but the point is ultimately going to fall, and Big Oof Energy will begin the payload portion of the hybrid map.
That's true, and the thing you have to worry about with these DPS that the defense are playing is once you lose your tanks, you don't have a whole lot of staying power since Widow and Pharah are both more comfortable playing at that long range.
Kaboshi's been doing a pretty good job on the Widowmaker. Do you think they'll be switching off soon?
In Streets phase, I think it might be a little bit likely, especially as they get past this first turn, but they might switch back third point. It's really kind of seeing how comfortable they are playing sniper v sniper in these situations.
Right, and as the sole main DPS with now a Brigitte as Vapori swapped off the Pharah, Big Grav comes in, that's gonna be shatter time, but the Dragons comes in, it doesn't catch anyone, and the barriers comes in on every member of Big Youth Energy. That's gonna be nothing happens. Massive shatter! He gets stunned out of it though. It's gonna stop the point, stop that defense, but no one dies again. Big Diva Bomb comes out, that's gonna catch the gods. Zarya playing off tank as Sir Waltham predicted earlier when we saw the roster. Massive anti-nade comes out, that's gonna be lots of picks for Winter Solstice.
And it was a cheeky idea for Paralysis to try to do that back slam with the hammer down. However, just didn't look like it paid off quite enough. There was not enough follow-up to capitalize on it.
That can be devastating when you do have the follow-up, like you mentioned, present and accounted for. But having that Brigitte ready to not stop the stuns, but stop the follow-up, yeah, that means no kills for you, despite the brilliance of the move.
And they blew 3 ults. They blew Dragon, as well as Grab, and the hammer down. And Sights, in fact, so 4.
Winter Solstice did spend most of their repertoire, but that's going to be a massive shatter onto Lost Hope. Shatter goes right into nothing, however, and that's going to be another anti-nade stopping that. Another shatter came out into the backline. Gods, they're not going to be able to get killed, and now the kills come in for Big Oof Energy with Viagra Panda, really demonstrating that you can run a Widow in the streets and be, well, I'm not going to finish that joke, but we're going to see Big Oof Energy take the point much closer to that point B.
True, and it looks like the defending Lucio Silverstar going to get caught out a little bit, perhaps a little bit poor of a rotation, not quite pulling close enough to the Reinhardt.
Big nasty stagger. And here comes an early, it got eaten! Diva with this new kill feed enhancement, we see that Diva's defense matrix has eaten the Dragons, but it looks like it's not gonna matter as just Baba will deback them in revenge and they'll get point B anyways.
A little bit poor timing from Lost Hope as he charges in, only to get killed on cart after it's already been capped. But that being said, it doesn't look like the attacking team's going to be able to capitalize too much on it, since the cart is going to only be moving a certain speed.
Right, and that is, while it is a nasty stagger on Savitar, they're going to be able to get back into their mech and back onto the field before the next big fight happens. Unless Lost Hope is intent on using his shield as much as possible, and here it is! It's gonna be a big grab coming in! No Dragons this time, Barrier's just gonna come in as a defense, so no kills are gonna be out as a result. Dragons again, just a little bit late. You wonder if they maybe could have saved that and had more of a definitive push.
And the timing of that grab could not be understated. As the nano boost goes on to Lost Hope, he gets sucked right up into that grab and really just can't do anything with it.
Excellent Diva Bomb positioning means that Reinhardt can only protect himself and the rest of the team has to retreat, cutting the team in half and preventing any further play on the point. A Shatter goes right into a barrier, except it actually picks up Lucio and Zarya on the flank, so they are going to go down. But again, kills coming in for Big Oof Energy like they mean it, and boy, do they ever.
Very true right now. We have seen a sort of dominant performance coming through on the attack here. I can't... Maybe they got stalled once on Streets phase and have been pretty snowbally from there.
It looks like we're going to see stall comp now coming out from the Winter Solstice. We have the hamster ball coming out. Dragons on the point, stalling everyone away, catching Savitar out of their mech after Paralysis demechs them. Grav comes in once again. That's going to be Silverstar and Lost Hope caught in it. The hamster ball and the Lucio go down. It's only a very sustaining Brigitte charging up. They're going to get shattered, but the Brigitte stays up. Tracer definitely down. Brigitte with that massive healing mace is going to stay up for quite a long time, letting Savitar come back for one more stall with 1:35 left.
And that really shows you the essential capability of a Widow to just stay in the backfield while, you know, the cart's being contested. The defending team can't go deal with her. They have to just kind of let her take the shots until they clear up point a little bit.
Right, and it's not overtime, so no stall, no spawn timing overview for them. Picks are not coming in for Winter Solstice at all in the slightest, but they have stalled an incredible amount of time. They're going to push it close now. And there's Kaboshi picking up yet another stall as Lost Hope now charges in. This is so well coordinated. Now it barriers! The Dragon's going to come right onto the point. Lost Hope gets caught right in it, taking so much damage, and finally they push it through.
Even though it was a losing fight, that is a very good stall coming out from the defending team there. Obviously, you'd like to see a full hold if you're that team, but you'll take shaving almost a minute and a half off of the clock.
Yeah, that was amazing. I really like seeing stalls come out. They probably didn't have much of a chance of getting it into overtime. Knocking it to 1:03, that's a time that is very beatable.
And I think the important thing to remember here is, unless I'm mistaken, if that would be Winter Solstice captures the point in overtime, they're not going to. It's an automatic draw at least for Big Oof Energy, since they do have more than that 1 minute on the clock. And at that point, all they'd have to do, one tick on the first point.
That is one of the most difficult holds in the Overwatch world, is when you're taking a point and you have to keep, or rather when you're defending a point and you need to keep it from getting one tick. That's such a demoralizing situation.
And it's questionable if they'd even be able to run the Orisa comp into it again if it does go into overtime. However, that's third round talk, but let's focus on what they got going on right now.
And what they have going on is a defense that I am loving. We have a Lucio taxiing a Widowmaker to the point very quickly, leaving the rest of their team behind. It looks like they're not intent on bringing anyone else back, so that's definitely the switches for them. We have a good standard Rein Zarya, Widow Hanzo, Lucio Ana. Love it.
And I think the key here is really just kind of opening up these sightlines for Viagra on the defense here. If they're able to just kind of distract on the front, get the Rein to start swinging real heavily in Lost Hope, then Viagra Panda will be able to start basically taking free shots, as we saw on that third point attack.
Yeah, the snipes were pretty dominant from that Viagra Panda, but it looks like they are going to be running that double snipers right into their arch nemesis Goats, and without a Junkrat or a Pharah, this is going to be pretty nasty. Massive anti-nade goes out on Paralysis. Lost Hope gets a bonus in return. No kills yet, except there it is! Viagra Panda manages to pick up the Zarya. This is how you can dismantle Goats with a double sniper comp. Make sure you pick off those fragile tanks when they leave Reinhardt's shield zone. Already has a shatter! Catches 3! No one around to follow up, but there it is! A D-Mech on the Diva who was being cheeky, and not part of the shatter, but it definitely stopped anyone from helping. There's the Brigitte down. That's going to be another charge. It looks like Winter Solstice is going to try and pull out for a little bit.
Yeah, and one thing that I really would like to give Viagra Panda a little bit of credit for is, as soon as they saw the Diva die for them, they just hopped right down next to their Hanzo.
Yeah, they know exactly what to do in that situation, but that's going to be a big shatter in the backline, but he dies for his sins. Gods, the Zarya Ana are still alive, but Lucio does pick up the Viagra Panda. Goats' spawn advantage is just overwhelming the Big Oof Energy defense, and that's going to be the point for Winter Solstice.
Perhaps a little bit questionable for that nano boost to come out onto Gods, but you'd think that with a little bit better ult management, and they do have quite a few coming up, they'll be able to defend in Street Space pretty efficiently.
Yeah, they do have that incredible Dragon Ball combo coming up, but with the barriers, we've seen that be a very effective defense coming in. But however the Dragon Ball comes in, barriers, there's the barriers, there's the Dragon. Dragon got eaten again! Savitar, you're amazing! Always making sure that defense matrix is ready to go, and now Winter Solstice is back on the offensive. They lose their Reinhardt, but their momentum has not lost an iota, except the cart's actually retreating.
It definitely looks like Savitar is saving the Diva Matrix for those essential moments. They accept that they're probably going to get hit by the grab, but as soon as that grab comes out, they know to have that Matrix up for the Dragon Strike. Some awesome resource management there.
Lesson learned there, of course, is for your Hanzo to coordinate with your Zarya, get ready for that bubble to come out, be far enough away so that you start it early and it gets there at the same time. But again, those barriers, that's really difficult to get around.
That's true, and it looks like we might be seeing a little bit stronger of a Streets snowball than we did with the attacking team, or the last attacking team, Big Oof, on the first round.
Ooh, big grab comes in, Shatter comes out, Shatter counter shatters almost like Major Diva Bomb! It catches 4! Lucio, Junkrat, Ana, Zarya, and oh my goodness, what a massive, massive boom. And I can't really tell who got shattered there, but the bomb definitely did its work.
It was actually pretty fascinating because it looks like the grab was holding them just to the side of that subway tunnel, but then as the Diva mech gets launched into it, they get, I don't know if they got booped or they got Zarya right click juggled, but they just happened to have 4 of them sail into the line of sight from that subway.
If Winter Solstice manages to take point B, which Big Oof Energy is not going to give up without a fight, they're almost looking at a 5-minute, 4.5 minute push here on point C. Again, massive time. What the unbelievable Big Oof Energy comes back swinging with a vengeance. Excuse me, they're choking me up. This is so wonderful to see. Pretty much the entire push is gone now, and they're going to hold point B with 3 minutes 20 left.
Very true, and this, if you're an attacking team, is where you hate to see the cart stop on Streets phase. You have such a long spawn to come through that you get much less pushes for your time.
Yeah, and I think, again, a major change to Big Oof Energy's defense has been that Junkrat coming out, already building up to that tire, with which Shatter and Grab is a great combo to use. Stun, Lost Hope, he got slept incredibly. Can't do your goats if you don't have your Rhine Shield, but that's a lot of armor they just gained, and that's going to be pretty nasty. Paralysis caught a little far away from the scene, but it looks like the Grab was coming in. The Dragons is going to be used. Defense Matrix didn't catch it. They are also going to commit the tire. Not really sure I like that, but that is going to demech and destroy Diva and Reinhardt respectively, and Viagra Panda is now on their way to building up yet another one.
Yeah, a little bit questionable as to that tire use. He only got 1 kill off the back of a Hanzo and Zarya ult, but do you really want to invest a tire into it as well? To hold this far to the point, maybe.
Interesting. That is I almost didn't notice, but that is a lot of ultimates coming online for Winter Solstice. And there it is, the Shatter right into a shield. Grav comes out. No defensive ults from Big Oof Energy, but there it is. Barriers come out just in the nick of time, but Ana does not get saved. Nano goes out big. Shatter on their Lost Hope. That's going to put him down for a while. He takes him away from the point. Nothing he can do about that. So much Nano boost wasted, but Paralysis dies for his sins as a result. Winter Solstice has the advantage here. We could be seeing them push this through.
It certainly seemed like it, and the Reinhardt did seem to be getting a little bit of peel, but as the Diva Bomb comes out, absolutely massive.
Savitar going for Pokos left and right, grabbing the Zarya and the Junkrat, and now Tracer down as well. I think we're going to see here the push through, but that's a respectable stall from Big Oof Energy.
Definitely, they are kind of on track to basically keep the time Solstice is looking to keep the time of Big Oof Energy, or at least be very competitive with it.
Whew, and now we see the pokey poke fight once again as both Reinhardt's shields are not looking too good. Lost Hope has the advantage of retreating around a corner. Paralysis slightly better, worse situation rather, with that little corridor giving some open sight. Zarya saving them some time with a bubble, but now it's back to the poke fight. But Paralysis catches the Lucio, and now we see that's the opening for the tire to come out. What's gonna happen? Big kill, 3K. Viagra Panda, you and the bombs from Savitar. This is just an explosive match, ladies and gentlemen, and don't apologize for that at all.
Absolutely, and that's how you kind of like to see Junkrat tires be used. You like to see them be used early into the fight, and just used as an early fight ender, because you know Junkrat's gonna get a lot of ult charge throughout the mid-fight of the next time.
Exactly, it's a great way to win a fight with a single ult, and now look at that, they have 3 ults coming online. I'd rather, however, Winter Solstice also does as well. Massive Shatter comes in, it catches Lost Hope Shatter! He's going to lose it, and now all he can do is try to build it up again, and they're doing their best job, but a grab also gets wasted, so quid pro quo, tit for tat. However, another push defeated with 1:47 left.
I think that even if the grab had caught the enemy team, you wouldn't have needed it in that situation. The fight was already looking pretty dominant with, I believe, 2 or 3 members already down for the attacking team. You probably could just hold on to it if you had hindsight.
Yeah, and now we're seeing once again, it's probably not likely that Winter Solstice is going to be finished the map in time. It actually will be impossible. Best they can do is push it all the way to the end and avoid that tie situation, and a grab is going to help. But here come the barriers. Everyone knows that's going to happen, and a Dragons comes in from the reverse from just Bobbit. Nothing happens. Maybe he thought that was their own Zarya. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. He picks the Lucio, and that starts the snowball of kills.
This is just a service announcement, folks. If you're hearing the foreign language, the non-game language, then that means it's the enemy ult.
That's very, very excellent to note. When you hear the angry Japanese, start running. That was an early Overwatch tip for new players when we were just jumping onto the open beta. You'd be surprised at how many people forget it. Oh, what an incredible hit! They knew the shield was gonna pop, so they popped the shatter anyways, but just Baba was ready with yet another dragon, acquired in incredible time. And so now Winter Solstice has a definitive point presence advantage, but too many ulcers coming up, but that's it, Savitar takes it, and he picks off the Junkrat as well. Great, excellent moves from Winter Solstice to at least guarantee a tie.
Absolutely, and I am kind of enjoying this Pharah pick, even if it's not supremely effective. A little bit of aerial battle, always a little bit amusing to see on my end, but Paralysis is going to clean up right now.
Yeah, that was incredible. I don't know if they were afraid of the Pharah, just wanted to get maybe too many picks, too little, too late, and Winter Solstice just had to beat a hasty retreat. They're not even going to be able to get back to the point in time. So that's going to be map 1, ladies and gentlemen, and we see that going to big oof energy on King's Row.
I also believe that at the very last moment, I saw the D.Va once again eat the Hanzo grab. Savitar playing excellently on that neutralization D.Va. Speaking of, playing excellent on D.Va.
Right. As amazing as Viagra Panda's plays were, the sheer excellence of getting a 4K is really difficult to deal with. And look at that placement. They managed to get it just inside the door such that it caught everyone who was outside of it without clipping. Love to see that.
And the real, the setup for the alley-oop there was Silver Star. As I mentioned, they were all kind of held, the entire defending team was held to the side of the subway, and as soon as the grab lets them go, Silver Star boops them in front of the subway, which just allows them to just get blasted to oblivion.
Yeah, just some really amazing stuff. So we are going to have Winter Solstice selecting the next map as the losers from the first map, a chance for them to initiate a fight on their home field advantage should they have their favorite map.
Very true, very true. And looking at it, I think that it was Winter Solstice going to be picking the next map. I think that they'd play something that, might continue to be a little bit more D.Va favored, with Kabashi performing as excellently as they have been.
Kabashi was doing some really good work, yeah. And Route 66, that's going to be our choice with a nice little direct payload map. Route 66. That's another great sniper map, though. Interesting that they would pick that, given Viagra Panda's penchant for the Widow, and just Baba's tendency to do some sneaky Hanzo Dragon tricks.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see if we'll be seeing as many snipers run out of Big Oof this time around, or if we're going to see a little bit more of a less punchy comp, or a less snipery comp, I guess is just the easy way to say it.
Indeed, and now Big Oof Energy is going to have to choose between their defending or attacking first side. Hopefully they will stay the same, so we don't have to go through a side switch. Come on, Big Oof Energy, what do we got? In any event, though, Winter Solstice has to have a plan here. They chose pretty decisively this Route 66. It's difficult to run things like Pirate Ship on this particular payload map, but that is a pretty solid counter to double snipes.
Yeah, you definitely can't agree with that, especially on the first point as you're going down the main way. If you're going to be running defensive double snipers, then there's not a whole lot of angles to catch except for just the one, which, Reinhardt shield just walking through it, kind of effective.
Yeah, it's pretty good times for that shield comp. The other thing too is Route 66 has that penchant for being, I guess, vulnerable to the fight-winning ultimate. Specifically, if you have that Junkrat, and it looks like Big Oof Energy is going to switch over to the blue side. So we are going to have them swap up. Good thing there's a button for that, thanks to the custom lobby settings. And we are set up with Route 66. We'll have a name change momentarily. Now, just to remind everyone, Winter Solstice is going to be showing up in red, and Big Oof Energy in blue. Big blue, big blue.
See, it's a little bit confusing, because when I think winter, I don't think red. And when I think big energy, I don't think blue. Ooh,
I got it. Winter is coming. Red. Game of Thrones. Lots of blood in Game of Thrones. Red. Winter Solstice. Done.
I'll have to leave that long train of thought to you. I have not caught up with my Game of Thrones as much as I should. That's going to be a big oof from me, Threepwood.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. In any event, though, we have the name swatch, so you on the Luckstream side audience will get to have that pretty easily showing. And now we are going to get started on Route 66.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready to see this. You know, we just got out of the midnight. We got the sleepies knocked out of our eyes. Now we're seeing a place that feels a little bit more like high noon, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I also think it's super important to remind everyone that the initial spawn comes out of Deadlock, Propane, and Propane accessories. I do think that was a bit of a miss to not name it Pain as in P-A-I-N, but hey, you know, that's cool. Now that we know that the Deadlock gang is actually pretty nasty ruthless, I find it hilarious that they have a propane shop.
Hey, every criminal organization has to have a legitimate money laundering venture. It's just my opinion. I'm just a humble caster.
I'll tell you what, I definitely agree with that one. And with that, we are going to see the at least defense comp coming out set in stone. What a glorious defense they have. Running Sombra on Route 66, dust my eyes deceive me.
This is... Ever since Sombra first came out, I think it was Volskaya and 66 where we always saw a Sombra back when she would get ult charge for those health packs, but I've just liked seeing Sombra on 66 ever since.
Someone contact gods immediately, inform them that DPI is a thing and you can lower it. Meanwhile, looking at the red side, it looks like we're going to see Ashe, a character that I love seeing in tournament plays, and she doesn't show up too often.
It's very true. Just Bobby going to be switching off that Sombra to my chagrin, I think is the right word, onto the McCree.
So, and we have the Theory Tropic coming in, by the way, as a substitution. So we now are going to see this little push get started, as always, on Route 66, the first push coming in. That's going to be running a Pharah into quite a lot of hit scan, and the result is about as you would expect.
Yeah, and it's going to be very dangerous for the Mercy to try to go for the res, so it looks like they may just let Sleeping Dogs lie on that one, especially since they're so close to spawn.
And here we go, here comes that famous dive on Route 66. They're coming off the payload, they're forcing the Reinhardt and the Zarya off, but that means everyone gets to follow, and now it's Dynamite Central, but doesn't really catch anyone. Genji now coming up into the backline, just Bob is going to pick off the Mercy, and that's going to be paying for his sins with Vapori throwing many well-placed shurikens right into his noggin. Kabashi picking up Viagra Panda in the sniper duel, then picks off Ana in the other snipes. That's going to be a pretty solid play for Big Oof Energy right there.
Absolutely, and well, for Winter Solstice, they absolutely made the right play. They took up possession onto the garage, onto Big Earl's, and when Big Oof just fled the point, they just kept track of it. They kept that high ground and pretty much allowed themselves to carry cart because of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's difficult once that dive forces you off that high ground and you seize it from it. And Kaboshi already has Bob. That's incredible. Unbelievable play, but we see Just Bob is sneaking around on the other side. Nope, he has retreated. Shatter goes in, though, and that's going to keep Bob down again. Great way to stun lock Bob into not doing much for the team.
That's true. If you're anything like me, you can't count on your teammates to not wake a sleeping Bob, so you gotta put everything you can into him.
Ooh, but there goes the high noon. Big Oof Energy showing that even though they're on the blue side, it doesn't matter. They're going to put everything they got into it, despite Winter Solstice's initial great push. And it looks like they're going to hold on to this point pretty nastily, but Big Oof Energy is going to do as much as they can without giving it an inch.
And one thing I'm noticing out of Just Bobby, a lot of right click right now. Not a whole lot of accuracy on those left clicks, just massive damage.
Yeah, which to be fair is an excellent way to play McCree right now, given his incredible tank-busting strength until the new Reaper patch hits.
Yeah, we will certainly see a tank buster power struggle when that comes out.
Yeah, I'm super liking Kaboshi now, by the way, on this Ashe. And we see Viagra Panda switching over to the Ashe as well. Not content to be loser in the Ashe duel. But however, Kaboshi's going to pick him up again. Revenge for the Widows probably, and Winter Solstice is doing a great job pushing this cart.
And it's once again another situation of Winter Solstice just pushing up onto the high ground and pretty much commanding the fight from there. Theory Tropic being able to play it real safe behind the, or around the top of the saloon.
Yeah, and Paralysis tossing out a Shatter there, not really getting anything, because as Sir Walton mentioned, there ain't no one on the ground to get shattered, and Shatter might have a little bit of lift, but that's not going to be good enough. They are going to throw out a grab, though. That's going to catch 3. Are they going to get any kills out of it? Yes! Massive boots coming in from Big Oof Energy, and that's going to be a big oof for Winter Solstice, who finally gets sent packing in a decisive victory for the Energy.
And that's really what Energy needed right here. They were looking kind of stagnant in their defense. They were not able to get a real good foothold. However, it looks like this might be able to change the tides a little bit.
Yeah. And here we go. It looks like Winter Solstice possibly learned their lesson. They are going to set up on the high ground to start with for this dive. But Winston going very far away from his team. No shields for you until he drops down onto that team, but his charge is going to have to reserve. Bubble goes down. That's going to get popped pretty quickly. And now Winter Solstice is going to drop a Nano Blades into the backline. That's going to pick up Ash immediately. And here we go. Big kills coming in. Going for a Poco. Doesn't happen this time, but the duty has been done. Vapori picks up 2, and a Bob comes out from Viagra Panda. But that's going to be too little too late, and the cart moves on.
And not just any Bob, that was a Nano Bob. But I think when it comes to Nano usage, the Genji Blade was definitely the way to go. Genji able to target those weaker targets so much more efficiently and know who we should go for right off the bat.
Yeah, with such a mobile comp, the only character you're possibly going to catch out with a Nano Bob in this instance is going to be the Zenyatta or the Ana, and that's if she's missing a Sleep Dart. And Italis, holy moly, good lord, they are not going to give up point B without a fight, as Big Oof Energy comes screaming in for another team fight win.
Yeah, it did not seem like Winter Solstice was able to capitalize a whole lot of distance off that last win. Admittedly, they did get it pretty close to second point, but you'd really like to get it just all the way.
Yeah, and again, this is a really nasty place for the cart to stop.
Absolutely, we are going to be seeing Just Bobby hanging around on that high ground, preparing perhaps the High Noon to come out, and just keeping it in his pocket for maybe some frisky McCree flanks.
It's a good way to stop that point from going anywhere. They also have that Brigitte, which could mean they're going to be stunning away any shield droppers for a Shatter or possibly a Kai Noon combo. Something you don't really see very often. It looks like Vapori has decided, yeah, no, we're going to try and make that not happen, but they're going to get chased away, and that's going to be now brawling on the point, which is not Dive's specialty. They're going to retreat there and try to see their next angle in.
Very true, and it's a little bit dangerous to have a Genji dive onto that McCree.
And exactly like you say it is. McCree, that dive, you can't spare resources. Now the grab comes in, and here comes that incredible trans, but guess what goes right through a trans? It's a Deadeye, but guess who's also not in position to take advantage? With 60 seconds left, Big Oof Energy drops yet another ult into this team fight.
As Lost Hope comes out, it's gonna be just a little bit of too late attitude right now as we see that come out.
Yeah, now Bob's placement here is a little tricky because they can only get those angles on that side of the cart, but as it has been noted before, his range is enormous, almost as much as the Torbjorn turrets, and boy does he hit like a truck.
He looks and hits like a truck, especially when you get that knock up. However, as we see the attack coming in, they're only well, I say only, they're gonna have the Nano Blade, they're gonna have the High Noon, as well as the Diva Bomb, so a lot of potential here.
Right, and it looks like Just Bob is going to have his High Noon as well, and the Nano to go with it. Curious if they'll try anything here. Diva Bomb gets tossed out early. That's going to result in a kill! Viagra Panda gets caught out! I don't even know how that happened, but there you have it. And they're going to dive Just Baba. That's another ult they've got. Now here comes their own High Noon. What's going to happen? It's going to pop someone. Here comes the Nano Blade. Nothing! He doesn't get anything. They all managed to hide. And now Theory Tropic is going to pick apart Paralysis, and we have even more kills coming in for Winter Solstice, and overtime push into point B is just what the doctor ordered.
Kind of a good restraint there on the attacking team's Ana. Vapori pulls out that blade, gets slept. Silverstar doesn't give him the nano until right about as he's about to wake up. Even though the blade's been committed and lost, you still get the benefit from that nano boost.
Yeah, and he didn't build up as much charge as you'd like to see after getting that nano, but again, it keeps him alive and makes sure that the fight is won. Definitely possibly one of the more risky ult commitments, but again, you can't argue with a moving payload.
That's very true. Now the only person with an ult we're going to be seeing coming up here is Just Bobby. Maybe God's getting it during this fight, as well as Theory. But other than that, it's going to be a little bit more dry of a fight.
Ooh, big nap time for Paralysis. Savitar gets caught out of their element. I like them better on the Diva. They are going to fall to Just Baba, who despite his fan of the right-clicking managed to put one right in the Russian weightlifter's head. Vapori trying to shake up the backline, and he's going to die for his sins. Silverstar also paying for it. That's another push stopped.
And Kaboshi caught a little bit out right now. It can be a nasty stagger if they're not able to regroup.
Yeah, but the other thing too is, it's not a baby diva you have there in the backline, Big Oof Energy. That's a McCree, and they're angry, and Kabashi has proven their aptitude, and he is going to pick apart that Viagra Panda. That's no ult charge, and they're not going to be missing for the start of this fight. Rally comes out, they're also not going to get that armor. As the grab, though, he got slept. Oh my god, just Baba went for the high noon, got stunned. It's gonna be a massive shatter! And now it's high noon coming up, but what's gonna happen? Is he gonna get him? He is! Italis dies, but Lost Hope also goes down. That's Orion and a Brigitte casualties of that particular fight. Now it's gonna be all-out brawl time on the point. Can Solstice get back on long enough to stall?
And it looks like it's going to be real hard. They're going to have to push into the Bob, but that being said, they're just going to kind of take a pass on it. And they're going to get about halfway through third point.
Oof. Not completing a payload map is a rough situation to be in, unless you're very confident in your defense.
Yeah, but one of the advantages they do have is that they did get it through what I would call the hump of the second point capture, where you have that long respawn. That's really probably the best opportunity they have to take it to Winter Solstice in terms of just getting some solid distance over them.
Yeah, that is a good point. Winter Solstice is going to have their work cut out for them, having set the pace for this map, but it's up to Big Oof Energy to see if they can answer. Now remember, glorious audience, this is match point for Big Oof Energy. Should they push the payload to 0.1 meters past where Winter Solstice got it, they will take this round, and Winter Solstice will be sent to the losers bracket to fight for their life.
And just as a reminder, losers bracket is not a death sentence here. It is possible for teams to climb out of the losers bracket. It will just be a very bloody fight.
Indeed, there's going to be a lot of casualties. Well, literally twice the casualties. And, however, speaking of casualties, it's the Orisa Diva combo again, which on Dorado I kinda super like, as long as they can keep the gas station high ground.
Yeah, that high ground definitely seemed to be the benefit of Winter Solstice. Once they took that ground, they were able to climb a lot of distance. We saw a little bit of a struggle once that became less applicable, particularly towards the end of the Streets phase.
And Savitar going up to the Big Oof Energy spawn to see if they can get a little bit of insight into their composition. And they're seeing what I'm seeing. It's going to be a Ryan Zarya with a Pharah Tracer. Love it. Plus the Mercy Ana. See, again, mystery comps. I love it. Never know what's going to come out as the Pharmacy takes to the skies.
It's very true. It seems like Savitar will have their plate full with the Pharah, as well as watching for any grabs.
Let's see if Vapori's Ash is up to the task of picking that Pharah Mercy out of the sky. A boop comes in, and that's not going to be enough to push them off the high ground. Just Baba doing some nasty harassment. Massive anti-nade goes up into the top of the Gravestar. It's not going to happen, and another anti-nade is going to come up on top and get some healing, and Kabashi is going to die, however, to just Bobby, who did their duty as an angry Tracer in the back line. They're going to demech the Diva. Looks like the door is open for Big Oof Energy to keep pushing that payload. As with not a lot of heroes, they're doing a lot of damage.
It's very true. That was some good sight on Bobby to be able to identify, hey, they're anti-nated, they can't get healed. A lot of them are low. That's my chance.
Yeah. Now, however, looks like Vapori is showing their mettle as an Ash worth their salt. But they are going to get ripped apart by gods. Viagra Panda temporarily without their mercy. Looks like it's not going to matter, as the rest of the team is doing a lot of good work. Savitar gets anti-nated. That's going to be a very short-lived Diva mech. There they go. Diva Bomb comes out. It's going to pick up Kabashi with the end of his health bar. And the Big Oof Energy payload is going to hit point A with nary so much as a how do you do.
Very true, and unless I'm mistaken and Paralysis used an ult, I believe that Big Oof Energy won that with just one ult off the back of the Tracer Bomb.
Yep. And they're also going to pick up an Ana to start this next little snowball attempt. Difficult to snowball on a payload map, but a snowball's a snowball. Map control is map control. Just Baba going insane. I don't think anyone expected him to have this much incredible power on a hit-scan hero like Tracer after pulling out that Hanzo.
Yeah, really showing kind of the wide range, the precision, as well as the tracking damage that this player is capable of.
And again, Viagra Panda, they were the one pulling off the Ash Widow duels. Now they're on the Pharah. They've built up to an ult that's about to get comboed with a Grav. Holy moly, Grav Barrage. Haven't seen that in a long time.
And to the credit of the defending team, they know the importance of grouping up, but that is also going to be their downfall in that push.
Oh my goodness, Sir Waltham has said it the best. Grouping up is a key component of Overwatch, except when the enemy has a Pharah, and the Diva just dropped to the low ground.
Yeah, it was a little bit perhaps of a misplay by Savitar. This, I think, is like the first ult we've seen that hasn't been completely eaten by Savitar when possible.
To be fair, the dude has been just doing some incredible work, but with 5 minutes 23 seconds to push the payload 29 meters, it's not looking good for Winter Solstice. How can they turn this around?
I think that what they really need to do is try to get a very early fight. You don't want to let them get to that bend, or you're going to be having almost no margin of error.
Yeah, and here comes just Bobby looking to stop that in action. They'll probably try to get that pulse bomb onto key targets in the backline, but it also seems that Winter Solstice is going to pull out a Pharah of their own, dropping bombs as much as they can, but just Bobby's going to make it not happen. He gets the nano boost, he drops the bomb onto the Reinhardt, and that's going to be it. Nano bomb. That's the way to do it. Diva bomb comes out though, and that's going to be a big stall, pushing Big Oof Energy away from the point long enough for Winter Solstice to recover.
Indeed, Savitar looking like they're about to have some massive purchase for that Diva Bomb, however, just won't click in time.
They don't get it out, and that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Big Oof Energy takes the map, end the round 2-0. Well played to both teams.
That is very true. Overall, Threepwood, that round, what did you think were some pretty standout players? Obviously, we're about to see
I
Viagra.
think we're looking at one of them. Viagra Pans did an incredible job, and watch this. They have Barrage, they waited, they saw their opportunity. They may not have even wanted to throw Barrage there, but they saw the Diva drop down, and they were like, wait, that's it, I got it. So I like seeing that. That was not an accident. I think for sure they knew what they were doing. The other one I'm going to throw out there is Paralysis on the Reinhardt. He did a great job the whole time. It was a rough fight against Lost Hope, but I don't think I saw a bad Reinhardt play. It was just really rough times for both teams.
It was, which, you know, especially a few patches back, main tank's always going to be a rough time with all the CCs being directed to you. All of the freezes, stuns, sleeps, anything like that. If it can hit a target, it's probably going to hit you.
Yeah, it's really good times playing a main tank nowadays, especially with that last Brigida patch. So once again, congratulations to Big Oof Energy for taking the match. We're going to see Winter Solstice go down to the losers bracket. They're not out of the fight yet. This has been Threepwood with Sir Waltham.
Yeah, thank you very much. You can catch me on Twitter at Sir Waltham Gaming.
And I am at Threepwood007. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you again tomorrow for a doubleheader starting at 5 p.m.
Have a great night, everybody.